Hello and welcome back to the next episode of Riven, and to all of you who watched the last episode where we unlocked this linking book, and I have no idea where it leads to, and I left you on a right cliffhanger with this. We managed to get it this far, and yeah, shall we do this? We've managed to open up this linking book. It's going to take us somewhere new. I have no idea where. Are we ready for this? Let's do it. Alright, where are we going? Where is this taking us? It's taken a while to load. Obviously this is a brand new area, so it's got to load up everything. Oh. Oh. What on earth are those? Where are we? Is that us? Is that way we can get back? Can't get to it. What's going on? Ah. Gehn. Atreus' father.
I apologize for the cage. I'm afraid this situation has often required of me a more primitive code of conduct than I might otherwise have chosen. I am Gehn. I assume you've heard of me. Yes. Well, I suspect you have acquired some false information of who I am now. Not that my son would have lied to you about me. No, not Atreus. It's just that, well, I'm sure he believes me to still be the depraved father I once was. Yes. I even tried to kill him once. God, if I had accomplished that, who knows what I would have become. Great father indeed, who tries to murder his own son. Thankfully, he trapped me on age 5, a prison of my own creation. No books, no precious inks, no ages to link to, nothing but my own foolish ambitions. That was 30 years ago. 30 years, 30 lifetimes, what does it matter? No sentence could be too harsh for the man I was. But I have changed. Be sure the deeds of my past can never be completely atoned for, but my mission was an honorable one. I'm sorry, this is all a bit awkward. It's been a long time since I've attempted to persuade anyone of my intentions. Most of the people here have already made their minds up about me one way or another. I myself do not trust the words of most men, so I don't expect you to believe me. In the end, though, you may discover that I do have more than mere words to offer. Atreus' choice of punishment has been hard on the people of Riven. Many have suffered because of it. The island has been steadily decaying for years, but according to my most recent measurements, it appears that the 5th age has entered its final days. Unless the villagers can be relocated soon, the island will collapse entirely and everyone will perish. It has taken me a long time to do it, but it appears that finally I'll be able to make some substantial amends to my past transgressions, especially in, well, I'm afraid I've had some trouble with Catherine and the moiety. In any society, there will always be a small percentage of the population with rebellious tendencies. Before Catherine appeared, the moiety, as they call themselves, had been relatively harmless. I mean, The natives here are a fairly violent people by nature, but I'd almost come to accept their presence. Upon Catherine's return, however, their violence intensified considerably. It seems she's become some sort of religious savior to them. As far as I can tell, she's come to believe this herself. So I've had no alternative. I had to separate her from her people. The actions of Catherine and the moiety have put my own life at risk on numerous occasions. Consequently, the lives of all the people here. Therefore, I must ask you to refrain from any attempt to free her. Although I'm sure Atreus desires it. Indeed, he must desire it with all his heart. But he is completely unaware of her recent state. I know that you arrived in the Fifth Age with a book which was immediately stolen from you. Needless to say, its reacquisition is of interest to me, though my personal history with the moiety does not give me much hope for it. Still, there is a chance you might somehow manage to retrieve it. If you do, I would ask for the safety of all concerned that you bring it to me at your earliest opportunity. Again, to be honest, my reasons here are partly selfish. There is so much yet to be resolved between Atreus and myself, especially in light of what has become of Catherine. In any case, my immediate concern is the completion of the sanctuary I've long promised to all the islanders. In the meantime, the stolen linking book. We should probably not meet again until you've recovered it. I will know if you succeeded, and will await your return. Good luck with your search. I hope to see you back here shortly.
Well, that's interesting. We can't do anything here. What was this take? This takes us back to Riven. Can't do anything else, I don't suppose. There must be a way into this place somewhere. Okay. So this will take us back into Riven. Well, that was an interesting meeting, wasn't it? So he's got Catherine imprisoned. I'm not sure I believe him when he says that she's become unbalanced. I doubt it very much. Oh, it's brought us back here. So we have to find the linking book. All this is still here. Well, we have to find out what we have to do now. Everything is still the same here. So everything's pretty much still the same. Let's have a look along here. Is this bridge still demolished? I should imagine it is. Yes. So I don't think this bridge can be rebuilt. Where do we go? What did we do? Just trying to think now where we've been and what is significant. Is there anything on that island that I can think of? I can't think of anything at the moment. We pretty much did everything on there except for that throne room. There's got to be something on the jungle island. That's the only thing I can think of. Something over there. Something to do with those totems. Those effigies. Tell you what then, let's head back. And we'll go through back to the forest island. Via this. And this one is an upright one. Missed it. Missed it. There we go. Okay. Actually, we could have gone back to via the cart, would have been quicker. I just realised, yeah. Never mind, we'll go this way now. We're in this thing. Can we reset this? Ah, we can. Interesting. I think it might be prudent to do that. Let's. Oh, it's already set for this section. So let's do this, and we'll set it off again. So maybe we need to do. We need to go back at some point to that other age that he was in. Okay, so let's go to there. And we'll set all these. That's 2. There's 5 in total. There is that small island we've been to that we don't have access to at the moment. We still don't know what the combination is for. Let's go up to that one there. To there. To there. There we go. Third one. That's another one done. Still don't know what this thing is. it must have some significance in the game. That one we did, I'm sure. That one we did. So let's find another one. We'll do that one up there, so we go to there. There's another one. So that's 4, isn't it? So there's one more. And I think it is, if I can find it, where is it on there? Let's turn that around. Done that one. Done that one. Where is it? Not that one. Did we do that one? I think we did that one, didn't we? I know which one I'm looking for. There it is. That's the one I'm looking for. There we go. I think that's the last one. There we go. Okay, this island is... Whoop. Yeah, okay, we don't want to go there. We want to go to the forest island, because I think that's where we're going to find what we need. I'm not sure if I can find out where the damn thing is. There it is. Just double check we definitely did this one. Yeah, it's in the lever's in the right position. Okay. Okay, off we go. I'm trying to think if there's anywhere else on the islands except for that small island that I haven't been or I know of any access to anywhere. unfortunately I don't. The only thing I think of is where that prison was. On that that cage. That's the only thing that brings to mind. So we need to head down. Not that way. Oh, I've got to call it. Can't see any difference from over here. There's our elevator. So we'll go down. We'll go down this way, not that way. Yeah, this way. Let's find out. That's the first place I can think of that might potentially be different is this thing up here. So let's go and get in the sub. If I remember where I parked it, I parked it here. Alright, we'll turn it around. Off we go. It's not moving, why not? Oh, we're on the... I've got to go to this one as well. Silly me. There we go. Let's head back up and see if there's anything different up here. Nothing. There's got to be something around on the other side of there. But how do we get to it? Would I be able to see from up here? If I go up there... there's definitely nothing in here showing up. Okay. Well, that didn't help us at all. Where shall we go? This central island. I'm going to look at this central island. There's something about it I've not checked out yet. See what I can discover about it. Maybe I'm missing something. We have got the numbers from the totems that we haven't used yet. The 31546. And there's the machine at the starting point on the game with all those 10 numbers. So what is there about this? What is this thing? This looks like it could be something's got to be placed there, hasn't it? I never thought... Oh, that's a point. Never thought to use that. I bet I could use that up there. Oh my god, why didn't I think of that? Let's go try it out. I can't see anything on here. A quick look around. Have a quick look. A quick gander. No. Right, let's go back to it. Let's try again. Let's see. Back to there. I think the white ones are the ones where the heat element is on. Okay. Let's try this again. Will this give us a clue? A few scratches on the lens. Please give us a clue. Look at that. There's a dagger. And it's saying looking down there. Oh man, would you look at that? What? Can you believe it? Is that it? Now what would that open up? I've turned it. So what's going to be different? Why didn't I think of that thing before? So that is under there. So I'm guessing that we'll go... Let's go down. That suggests there's something around this area. Maybe it's where we park this thing. It looks like it might be. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to take this, spin it round. And we'll put that to there. Nope, that's not what I wanted. Push forward. There we go. It's got to be to do with round this point somewhere. Okay, we're back. Coming back up. I'm hoping there's a new opening here somewhere. Fingers crossed. It doesn't look like it, does it? Can that go up higher? Kind of suggests it could, you know. I don't know. Is that a lever there? No, I don't think it is. I'm sure we're in kind of the right place where that opening would be here, around here somewhere, but can't see anything. Let's go back this way and see. Let's go up into that onto that high tower thing at the very top of the island. Trying to get my bearings on all this. Something's been opened up somewhere. You just got to find it. It's got to go up. Come on. There we go. And up again. Let's have a look, see what we can see from up here. Probably can't see anything. Nope. So it's over here, and I know where that is. I'm going to close this, or open it rather. I don't know if that's got anything to do with anything. Yeah, I don't know. We've got the tree over there that we could look at. The tree which we watered. That has to have some significance. You can go down that way because that cell is over that way. There's nothing down here, is there? I've got to say, this is one of the most difficult games I have ever played. This is much more complex than Riven. Not Riven, Mist, sorry. There's nothing around here, is there? Wouldn't anything to do with this anomaly? I'm still tied up in this box. Is there anything I can do with this box? Don't look like it. Oh, well, the butterfly's like not white. That's interesting. So, let's go down this way. We'll go and look up at the tree. I don't think that's going to be anything, though. What is it to do with the totems? What significance do they have? No, there's nothing down here, is there? Nothing that's opened up. Okay, the tree then. Let's check the tree out. Oh, missed it. This way. I don't see anything different. The water's all dried up, so I think we need to go and water it again. But I'm not sure what that is, the purpose of that, doing that is. Yeah, there's absolutely no hand-holding in this game whatsoever. You've got to work it all on your own. I mean, I could look it up on the internet, but I think, yeah, like I say, that's cheating. I get much more sense of enjoyment out the game if I figure it out for myself. That then it could end up with hours of gameplay just to find something that you'd missed so easily before. I mean, that bucket where I found the lens, that could have been so easily overlooked. Let's make sure there's enough water in there. Ah, you can see it. You can see it just covering the roots, I think. I think I can see it moving a little. How far can I take this up? I don't suppose it's much. I think that's as much as I can do. Okay, let's go and have a look. Let's head back down. And see if that's made a difference. I'm not sure what the point of watering this tree is. But it seems to me there's got to be some point to it. Otherwise, why would they make it so difficult to get up there in the first place? Yeah, well, now we have water in there, look. But why? Why is there water? Hang on. Oh, that's interesting. They're all white. Is that something I need to do from up there? Let's look down on it. With the lens. We could try that. Yes, I think we figured out all those. It was just a bit to get a series of numbers, but we still don't know where we've got to use those numbers. Okay, this way. That doesn't seem to make any difference. Just shows up as all white. There's nothing there of any significance. We pulled a lever in that cell. There was no other way through. Okay, let's go back to the submarine. I don't know if this will actually have any significance. We'll try it. Let's go and have a look. I'm just trying to think if there's a quicker way back to the submarine. Not that I can think. I think it's the quickest way. Down. There we go. Right, well, yes, we'll head back to the sub. Nothing opened up over here, is there? No. Come on, grab it. Down. Okay. Kind of seems like you could go higher. Why would that need to come back if the sub only goes up and down? Suggests to me that it should be able to go up. But I'm not seeing anything that can do that. That lever only extends this. There's no other buttons. And I've not missed anything around here, have I? Light. Okay, no, I can't see anything. Unless that is just to let light in. Okay. Well, we'll go back down to the pyramid. Off we go. I'm missing something somewhere. I can't think of any other places that I need to go. I suppose I could move over to the other smaller island and see what's there. Is this likely to bring up the big fish, the big creature? Something tells me it doesn't. It won't. That drops it down. Holds it to there. Bring it down to the bottom. Did I miss something up in that cell? And maybe it opened a door somewhere. I've got to go back up to that to be able to close this and go back up there. Yeah. So if I go round to this, turn it round. Okay. Let's go back up. So I think the comes out of that rock there. The submarine comes out of there. That point in the middle, I think. It's a very complex and very clever game. I do like this. For a game of 1997. Need to go this way. Yeah, I've got to go all the way to the top. to recall. Okay. This jaw is the jaw to that creature, I'm sure of it. Yeah. Can't see anything from here. Got a lookout there. Not sure how you'd get to that, or whether you'd need to. Let's close the base again. I'm not seeing any changes anywhere. It's got a bit of a steampunk vibe to this, with all the mechanical stuff. I like that. Definitely nothing else around there that I noticed. There is that totem around here. Let's go and have a look. See if there's anything's changed around this way. I don't think so. No. Nothing seems to have changed around here. Seems a bit weird that you can go all the way around just to see a totem that's got its numbers missing. Okay, let's carry on back down this way. And we are going back to... What is that orange down there? Is there lava down there? Okay, let's get back in the sub. Turn it round. Alright, let's try going back up. I'm sure I must have missed something up here, you know. I must have. Because where would that guy go? If that's just a dead end. And where was that brick now? Anybody remember which brick it was? Oh, it was here. I mean, that's just... It's like, there's nothing... Ah! Oh, for my God's sake. Why didn't I see this? I can't see a thing in here. Oh, look at this. Would you believe it? There's me running around everywhere trying to find out where I've got to go. Is this it? Ah, managed to turn some lights on. How cool is that? That means there must be a doorway under here somewhere. I love this game. Games with secret entrances. Fabulous. Fantastic. I love it. I'm going to turn all the lights on first. There we go. And here we go. It keeps doing this, doesn't it? Oh! Look at all this. We've got all the different creatures on the island. Ah. I've not seen any of these. I'm just trying to think what creatures I've actually seen. Seen that one. That doesn't work. That's not doing anything. I can't change that one now. I have to get closer. Can I push that one back down? I can't. Oh my God, what creatures? I've seen one of them. Where's the moth? The butterfly. Not seen that. What is this one? That's the Riven symbol, that is. Seen that one. I put that one up, but I haven't seen that one. I don't know where that one is. Where's the big... That's that guy, isn't it? No, that's that one. See, this is where you need lots of observational skills. Because there are a lot of creatures on the island. We've got to get rid of this water from here. We need to go around looking at what different creatures there are around on this island. Are there any of the fish that's in the water? I've not seen birds. I've not seen frogs. Not seen that. I've not seen whatever that is. That a fish? Oh, it's reset. Okay. So So I've definitely seen him. Definitely seen him. He was escaped from the lab. I don't know what that is. Don't know that. Don't know that. Don't know that. I don't know if I've seen that one. Definitely we've seen them on the beach. There must be another one. Finding the right ones. Is it? Do I press this one? 'Cause that's the Riven symbol. Try it. That's another one. It's definitely another one. Is it that fish? Where is it? Is it that one? It has to be another insect. We can't see the butterfly. Unless that's the butterfly. Yeah, which one would be the butterfly? Trying to think of all the creatures I've seen. I think I'm going to need to do a little hunt around the island and see what I can find. And I'm trying to think if there's any animals on any of the other islands, but not that I can think of. There's only the what's the island called? The Survey Island, where there was one creature, which is this beast. So I'm going to have to go back. I'm going to go look around and see what I can find. So I'm looking around at all these islands, trying to find other animals. And there's something I noticed here with these butterflies. Mentioned when I look through the lens, they all light up. Well, look at the shape. That's the shape of that frog. That never occurred to me. So if I go back to all the other totems, there's one down this way. There's one in here. And we do the same here. That looks a bit strange. I need to shut the water off. Oh, what? And there you go. Look at that. Oh my God. It's the fish. So we've got the frog, the big creature, calling it a shark. Let's go to the one by the tree. That's got to be those. Ah. I've got to get the right angle to look at it. That's how it works. That is sneaky. that's not going to help. I've got to water it again, so I'd have to look at it from this angle, I think. Let's go and water the tree again. And there's one down there, so we need to get to that. So we need to go. The trouble is, such a long way around. It doesn't take too long, I suppose. I'm running and running and running. I want to get there. So we'll water the tree. But it's not. This glows red. Wow, can you believe this? Right, it's got water on it now. Look at the trees gone all. Yeah, there we go. Alright, let's get down there quick. Before the tree runs out of its blossom. Down here. Back to the tree. Hurry, hurry, hurry. Wow, they made this complex, but very, very clever. So, look at that. Yeah, I get the shape. I see the shape now. That's a beetle shape. So I'm going to put beetle for that. My pen doesn't want to work. My pen's run out. No. Okay. The next one we'll go to this one. Go this way. Oh no, down that underneath. Yes. We gotta go to this way. And there's one under the water, and I think it's where I've parked the no, but I've parked the what's it there, so okay, the submarine. That's what I'm looking for. Down, down, down. Oh, I'm going too far. I've got to turn the steam back on. I forgot about that. So we're going to reset this. Okay. Down, down, down. Now we go around. I think I might have to go into the sub first. I don't think I can get down without... No. Need to bring the sub back. Because obviously the heating element's been turned off there. Back in the sub. Up we go. Turn the sub around. Move that back to there. And go back. Now that's glowing white now, which suggests that the heating element is on now. See, that one's still glowing right, and it is glowing red, so there's a bit of residual heat off it. There we go. Back around. Yeah, there we go. It's opened up. Down here. And what do we look at here? Oh, look at that. Look at that. What is that? What do I call that? No idea. I guess that's the moth, isn't it? I'll call that the moth. I can remember that shape. Alright, then there's one more. One more, two more? No, one more. Yeah, one more. Okay. Well, that's fascinating. Would you Adam and Eve it? Okay, so let's go this way. And that's the one with the missing dial. And that gives us our animals. Then obviously it's the order, the number order. I can remember which order they're in. Which way do we go? We need to go this way. This way and down here. Right, where is this one? There it is, and there it is. It's the platypus. There we go. Okay, well, I call it a platypus. Now we know, so we can head back. And we just got to get the order right. Oh, it's exciting. So I need to get back into the sub. A lot of walking around on this game, isn't there? I got to say the graphics are fabulous, absolutely amazing. I mean, they were really pushing. When this game first came out, when you looked at the graphics, they were as good as this, except they were only in static image format, which meant, I mean, obviously technology of computers couldn't cope with doing this sort of rendering at that time. But now, the games have managed to catch up to the level that they wanted for this game in the first place. So we need to go to here. Yeah. So yeah, it's taken what, 27 years? 27 years for the technology to get to the the technology to get to the level that they envisaged for this game, because obviously the only way to get that kind of graphical detail was by rendering static images, and I can imagine the renders took hours, if not days, to render. Okay, here we go. So that's what the numbers are for. It's for the order, the order for the animal rocks to be selected. Okay, here we go. And it's this wall. If I can remember which rock it is. It is this one, isn't it? There it is. Okay. Gladly, thankfully, all the lights are on. So number 1 is going to be the one we looked up at, which was the moth. Am I going the wrong way? They've still got them selected, so I'm just going to select one until they reset. There we go. Right, okay. So the first one we select is the one that looks like a moth. That one. Yeah. Number 2 is... Okay, it's going to be the one with the missing. So that's going to be that one. Number 3 is going to be the one that's near the mine, which is the frog. That one. Number 4 is going to be the one that's by the tree, which was that one. Number 5, the one next to the maglev, which is that one. And then I do this one, I guess, because there's only 5 of those things. No. Now I'm confused. It's asking for 6. But there's only 5 of those totems. Oh. I'm just looking at the numbers for these animals. It's doing 1, 3, 5, 4, 6. There's a number 2 missing. There must be another totem somewhere. I'm missing a totem. But where? I don't remember seeing one elsewhere. That's a problem. There's definitely not one around this way, is there? This just leads down to the water. We can't go any further from here. Is there one on another island? I can't remember seeing one. Okay, well I'm back again, and I'm back where I found the eyeglass, and I was looking around here. Wondered if there's a totem around here, and I had the eyeglass open, and I noticed this. That looks like the Riven logo. And I think, well, where am I supposed to view that from? And then I look over here. It's the prison island. So, I'm going to head back to the prison island. Quickest way is going to be up this way. I'm going to go through the spinning portal to get there. It's going to be the quickest way to it. And I think this is number 2. It has to be. So let's see what we get. Okay, guys. So I've been looking around on this island to see where to go, and I can't see how I can get that to line up. And I'm a bit of a loss as what I'm supposed to do here. I don't know the code to this door. Would you believe it? No way. I missed this. Oh, look at this. I had no idea this was here. That definitely used to be a maglev, didn't it, there? Oh, here's the other totem. Look at this. Can you believe it? And you know what? This is number 2. This is definitely number 2. Oh yeah, that has got to be number 2. So that means if we climb this. Oh my god, we can get into this prison island. I never knew about this. I could have got into this from the beginning. I'm sure this is where Catherine is. And she's... There she is.
You made it. But how did you get past Gehn? I know what he's doing. He's watching you. He's waiting for you to make a mistake. You can't let Gehn get back to Dunny. Find the moiety. They have the book. Be careful.
Wow, we found Catherine. Yeah, that could have been the thing from the start. Still don't know how I get to see this symbol. There must be something like a... I don't know. What else we got around here? Can I climb this? I can't, it's too high. Okay. I'd like to know what this thing is here. I'm back down here. There must be something around here that can help me to what's this? Wait a minute. There we go. We found it. Yeah, so it is that one. It is number 2. Okay, so I will see you back at by the magic of video editing, back at the caves. I'll see you shortly. Okay, guys, we're back. We're heading now to our final destination. Am I going the right way? Yes, I think I am. To the caves, and hopefully we got this right now. So number 2 is the Riven symbol. Okay, let's give this a go. Let's see if we've got this right. And we head up here. Middle button, and we get we are off. Let's see what happens. And it should be that rock there. Look at that. I know which one it is now. Can you believe it? Hey. That's the thing with this game, is you've got to do a lot of discovery, a lot of searching around. I'm gone too far. What am I doing? Here it is. So number 1 is, if I can remember them now, the one with the missing totem, the one with the missing number, which was, no it's not, it's the one with number 1. Number 1 is the one from the bottom cave. What was that one now? It was that one. That's number 1. Number 2 then is now this one. That makes number 3 the one with the missing, which was our friends the platypus things. Then number 4 is the one that was in the mine, or the one near the mine, which is the frog. Where is it? There it is. That one. And number 5 is the one by the tree, which was that one. And number 6 is the one by the maglev, which is our friend, the big beast. Fingers crossed. It's worked. Yes. Awesome. Don't tell me I need something for this. All that water went over that side. That is so weird. Oh, something's happening. What's this? Ah. Well, that's strange, isn't it? We are going to a new dimension by the looks of it. I'm not sure. Ah, there we go. Here we go. Magical stuff. Wow, check this out. This looks cool. Where are we? I remember this scene, but I don't remember how we get over there. I'm sure we do. Aha. This might have something to do with it. Oh, you want something from me?
Hello. Hello. You're alive. You're alive.
No. I've been poison darted. What's happening? Who are you? Wow. Where are we going to be? Where are we going to end up? So are we still in Riven? I'm not sure. We're in that big tree-like thing, weren't we? Look at those creatures. Are we where the we're at where Gehn is, aren't we? I'm not sure. What is that? I can't see it. Oh. What happened there? Ah, we're being visited. Don't use that book. I don't understand you, but that's my book. You can have it back, please. Good girl. And what else is that? Was that my notebook? What is she saying? Was she the one that poison dart me? Actually, she just sent me to sleep, didn't she? Alright, bye-bye. Wait a minute. I can't open the door. Oh, the door's just opened. Are you letting me go? You're the one that you're the one that darted me, aren't you? Oh, look at this. Oh, there's lots of them. So where do we go? Looks like there's only one way to go. Not that way. Down. Okay. Where are we going? In there? I'm guessing so. I remember this area, but I don't remember how things went inside. I don't remember the inside, but I remember the outside. And this must be another linking back to Riven. It is. And we've got to give the mist book to Gehn, or the prison book, that is. Will he fall for the rouge? Will he fall for the trap? So I can go back there whenever I need to, but they've let us go, which is interesting. Why would they let us go? The biggest issue I've got... Oh no, it is, it's there. Oh, of course it is. Of course it's going to be there. What was I thinking? I was thinking it's over by the school from where I left it earlier, but no, I had to... It has to be there because I can't get here without it. Silly me. Alright. I got a feeling we're very close to the end of this game now. I'm going to turn that thing around. Alright, we'll head up this way. Yeah, it was the sounds of the animals in the original game that you used to find out which animals you needed. I remember the room with the stone pillars in. But yeah, it was sounds they used, not images. So using that, using this thing is a new addition to the game. That wasn't in the original. I am talking 27 years ago, so it is. I am struggling to remember many things about the game, but that was definitely a new thing. So we are going to go back to Gehn, and I believe this is where we give him the book. Still got to find a way of freeing Catherine. Okay. We're close. One more. Here we go. Back to wherever Gehn is. And that's still running. Here we go. Here he is.
Well done. I was greatly relieved when I received word that you had recovered the book. I don't quite know how you managed it, but if I may. Thank you.
You're in for a big surprise. Does it hold up to scrutiny? Come on, make your mind up. Is there something I can do? I don't think there is. It's just preventing me from doing anything. I can't even move. He's not going to do it, is he?
Perhaps it would be best if you went through first.
That would be a problem. Yeah.
You may need some time to decide. That is reasonable.
What's he
Please
doing?
understand, there is nothing I want more than a chance to resolve matters between Atris and myself, especially in light of what has become of Catherine. But unless you are willing to demonstrate to me that your intentions are honorable, I cannot risk it. The sanctuary I've been writing for the islanders is nearly complete. After all these years, it would be a shame if I were unable to finish it. The work I am doing is quite demanding. Please don't signal me unless you've decided to use the book.
Don't remember this part of the story. Obviously, the only way back is to here. Perhaps I wasn't that close to the ending as I thought I was. So he's given me the choice to go back. Is there anything in here that can give me a clue as what I need to do? Nope. So I think I've got to go back. I think I've got to go and speak to Catherine. Interestingly, it puts me back in the lab every time. Okay. So let's go and talk to Catherine and see what we've got to do. I think that's the only choice. I'm hoping that's the choice. And I'm trying to remember what symbol this one is. It's a flat line. Didn't get it. No, it's a vertical line. There we go. What do we do here? I think I've done most of the puzzles within the game. I've done all the searching the island. Let's see what Catherine has to say to us. I think it's underneath. Yes, there it is. I'm hoping that Kathleen can shed some light on what it is we need to do. Catherine, are you there?
You're back. Time is running out. You have to free me. The combination is hidden somewhere in Gehn's outpost in age 233, so you'll have to trap him to get it.
Ah, God. How do I trap him? I have to use the book, don't I? Thing is, if there's no linking book within there, I can't get out. How do I trap him? So what I'm going to do, before I go and see Gehn, is I'll save the game. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. I need to go and turn that off first. We're getting there. We are slowly getting there. Missed it. Nope. There we go. I'm wondering if there's a way of trapping him in the temple, because you can lock the door and you can raise the drawbridge. So I'm gonna go back to, yeah. I'm gonna head back to the Temple Island, this one here. I don't know whether he's just going to turn up there or not. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it going round. two more. So yeah, my thinking is if I go down to the that big seat with the levers, I can control the drawbridge, this drawbridge here, and in that temple in there I can close the big door. That's if he goes in it. I don't know if he will. She mentioned about trapping him. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go down there first and see if there's a way to lure him in there. I don't know if that's going to work. I have no idea how I'd get him in here. I can just go down there and see what happens, see if he does turn up. There's this down here as well at the start of the game. I think this is where the end of the game happens, down there, if I remember rightly. Can't see him. Just wait a while, see if he turns up. That would be the best way to trap him, I would have thought. But I got a feeling it's going to have to be... I'm going to have to use the mist book, the linking book. Well, there's no way back, that's the problem. That I know of. Alright. Yeah, he's not going to show up here, is he? Okay. But that would be a good place to trap him. But then again, I can't get into his lab, can I? So, let's head back to his place. Before I do this, I'm going to save. I'm going to overwrite. I'm going to do save. Save 5. So, let's do this. Here he comes.
All right then, once more.
I think this seems the only option.
The only path open to you now is through this book. Take it.
I think this might be a bad ending somehow. Yep. Here he comes. Do I get swapped out with him or something? Oh, I do. Aha. This was the right thing to do. What happened to the book? I don't know what book this is, but it's pretty blank. Looks like he's got trapped after all. Let's have a look outside. This is a very strange looking island, isn't it? Look at those creatures. What do we have down here? There's a dish. Actually, it's a huge dish on the top. Oh, he's used it to barbecue one of those creatures. That's interesting. It's like a throne. Oh. This is fascinating. There doesn't seem to be anything that you can interact with except for that. The point of that is I don't know. Anyway, we need to find this code to get Catherine out of her prison. This is one massive big dish, this. Let's have a look. We've got books in here. Can't access any of them. We've got a load of those marbles. All the relevant colours. This is bloody weird. I don't know what I'm supposed to... what's happening? I'm guessing that's some sort of musical device. Yeah. Aha! It's like an alarm clock. I start this latest journal with outstanding news. Catherine has returned to the Fifth Age, and though it sets my teeth on edge to say it, she has also vanished as quickly as she appeared, stolen from me by the rebels. As my guard tells it, she linked into the Fisher Plateau cage, just as I'd surmised, when suddenly he was set upon by a band of rebels who darted him and spirited her away. I suspect the truth of the matter was that he was so dumbfounded at actually witnessing someone link in after all this time that he presented an easy target for whichever rebel happened to be nearby. The damnable luck of it. He did get a good enough look at her, though, to verify that it was indeed Catherine. He also claims that he inspected all of her belongings and found no linking book on her person. A fact that I find hard to believe, but if true, makes the question of why she's returned here all the more puzzling. While I am sick with frustration at having lost the only quarry that Cage has ever caught, I am also filled with hope, as she may yet provide me with a way back to Denis. It is true that I have managed to, despite overwhelming odds, to break free of the confines of the Fifth Age and resume my mission to save my culture from extinction, but I fear that unless I am able to gain access to the vast resources that lie in the city's ruins, the task of resurrecting that a great civilization will be impossible. If Catherine did not bring a linking book with her, then I am halfway there. If not, then she is trapped in the Fifth Age, and I can only assume that my emotionally crippled son will soon be along to rescue her. Either way, it is crucial to my plans that I find her soon. Her presence here has forced me to take the rebels more seriously. I should never have permitted them to survive this long. Once again, the Great Walk has demonstrated its usefulness to me. The villages have been difficult to manage in the wake of Catherine's arrival, and their fear of this mythic beast, has been all that has kept them in line. Had I known how truly useful these prodigious creatures would prove to be, I would have captured more of them while the local population was still plentiful. Although, to be sure, if these disturbances continue, my current pets will be in no danger of perishing for lack of nourishment. Is that no danger or more danger? The search for Catherine continues. I deeply regret my mistake of having ever taught these primitive people anything at all about the books. It seems that with each passing day, I more surely realised the extent to which they were not ready for that knowledge. Not even in the simplified manner in which I presented it to them. Their minds, adapted only to the exceptionally menial tasks of village life, were incapable of comprehending the art in all its complexity, and were thus unable to glean any of the underlying principles that are ironically so eloquently simple. It is obvious that so much of the discord that exists between the stems from their failure to grasp the meaning of the information I gave them. If they'd been able to gain even the smallest glimpse of the glorious future I had planned for them, this conflict would not exist. The minds of the children, however, are much more malleable. With the proper tutelage, they have developed a more appropriate posture towards the culture that has given them their lives. At times they take it to almost as if they have got a bit of Denis blood in them. Given the natives' inborn limitations, however, I am quite careful that more gain a level of understanding that would permit them to sun against their future the way that Catherine did. However foolish I was to think that she could wield such knowledge responsibly, when it was quite clear that my own son could not. Atras, still, he remains one of the greatest disappointments in my life. I should never have left him with my mother. By the time I'd returned for him, he had already been poisoned to all the thoughts of aiding me in my noble mission. Perhaps that was the only way she could soften the fact that she had been responsible for the collapse of the entire civilization. So much destruction, so many great lives lost. The guilt must have been unbearable. She did seem to love my father and our world, but ultimately she was an outsider whose ignorance of the Denis became the catalyst for their demise. If I am able to rebuild our culture and in the process correct such weaknesses, then perhaps what she did was ultimately necessary in order that a new and stronger era of prosperity might someday come to pass. I have been increasingly beset by the images from the past these last few weeks. As I stood in the schoolroom today, I was reminded of my own childhood, the years I spent in the book Markers Guild, father's immense pride at each of my small accomplishments there. He was an important man in the Denis world, but I cannot bear to think of him for long. It is too much. I was too young to see such things. I have her. Late last night I received word that Catherine had been apprehended while attempting to persuade some of the villagers to join her. I lost a few men in the process, but I would have been gladly paid 100 times that number for such a prize. Really? Oh, she's been imprisoned in my old office, where I've been attempting to gain some insight as to the reason for her return. I've had to fight the all but constant impulse to put her on the gallows, as she adopted the most infuriating stance of only answering my questions, when she answers them at all, in her native tongue. Okay. Even so, she was a poor liar. I am now certain that her return to Riven was unintentional, and that she brought no linking book with her. As far as her willingness to share with me the location of the moiety, we shall see. Without the leader, however, they are once again powerless against me. If Catherine's coming here was indeed an accident, then Atros is bound to come for her. That is a given. The question I must now consider is, how will he attempt it? Is it likely that his hesitation is due at least in part to this dilemma? One way or another, though, he'll have to bring a linking book to get back. There is no other way. It's late and I cannot sleep. I've lost so much in my life. My people, my father, my son, and you, my wife, Kita. You are the only true kindness I have ever known, watching you flicker there in the images. In the imager. Okay, yeah, the imager. That's that big seat with a cage around it. I sometimes wonder if you were real. If I could restore your life with my pain, I would do so in an instant and leave the rest of the world to their own wretched fate. Or wretched fate. Damn these savages. I would be well advised to leave them all in the Fifth Age and begin again with a clean sheet of paper. A stranger has arrived on Riven with a linking book to Denis, and once again my useless minion was overtaken by the rebels. From what little I could decipher of his muddled explanation, it apparently occurred to me sometime this morning. The cage mechanism has been damaged, but that it is no matter. Everything I need is here, now. Atros is certainly behind this, but why would he send someone else in his stead? And with a linking book, no less. Surely he would have guessed that I would be waiting for him. Such recklessness is unlike him. Could it be that he's had a change of heart towards me? That after all these years he has finally decided to let his poor old father go? Ha! I know all too well where his loyalties lie. He is only after one thing. Perhaps this stranger should find her. For now, I need only to wait and observe. I am beginning to think it was a mistake to allow the stranger to roam freely about the islands. In their ignorance provoking, they attempted to power the damaged drawbridge from Temple Island, and the entire bridge collapsed. The trivial loss at this point, but it ilks me all the same. Had I not yet managed to free myself from what crumbling age, it would have been hampered my progress severely. But again, it is no matter now. The day will soon come when I will be done with Riven forever. Disconcerting news. Last night a group of maintainers happened upon a lone rebel scout and were able to engage him long enough to learn of a most plausible device, a crystal window, supposedly capable of amending my linking books, much the way that my own remarkable system does. But with one slight advantage, it is small and weighs only a few pounds, making it entirely portable. If this outlandish claim is true, then the artifact in question must be something that Catherine fabricated prior to her capture. No doubt from an explicit Denis schematic she brought with her. If only I had had access to such a document all these years. That was the item that was on the Rebels world, the Rebel Age that we went to. The portent of this revelation is deeply troubling. Some years ago, the rebels managed to abscond with a dysfunctional linking book I'd intended to destroy. The book was never discovered or recovered, but once they had sufficiently atoned for this sacrilege, I graciously decided to let the matter slide, thinking that in their inept hands it would do no harm, or do me no harm. But if Catherine has indeed empowered them with such a device, the rebels may well have linked to another age. It also means that that's a number, isn't it? That means that 98 is no longer safe. This cannot stand. The stranger is the key to all of this. Tracking their movements has given me a good idea of where this rebel linking book and crystal may be hidden. But before I can deal with that, I must secure the linking book back to Denis. Must secure the linking book back to Denis. Everything hinges upon that. If I can gain access to my arsenal of resources there, I will happily leave the whole Riven to its own dismal future. Okay. Image of codes. Kita 5. Father 2 3. Anna 2 3 5. This is interesting. Key to father. I'm going to take a picture of that. So, is there anything else? That must be his mother and father. This is an imager. What's on this one? His mother? I have no idea. Wash basin.
Tagamem. San Botegan Shem.
Alright. I guess that's just a step. Just keep looking around. Because that's turned that off. Although it's still showing Riven. Can't do anything with that. Anything in here? I suggest that there's a key of some sort to go in there. Okay, what's this? Aha! So let's open the cage. And who is Anna? See, I still don't quite get. I'm sure this is the code. These are imager codes. 5 23 235. Key to father Anna. Imager codes. Ah. Five. That's not working. Oh, I see. Wait a minute. I know what's wrong. Turn all them off. So this is Anna, which we had before.
Tagamem. San Botegan Shem. Vasi.
Okay. Two, 3.
Now, my turn. You want to record something so always you will remember. What is English for scramape? Scum from above. Your appearance should have inspired us to a better future. What does it mean for us as a people if we cannot embrace worlds outside our own? You were an angel from above. Always you will be my angel from above.
This doesn't help me get to 235 is the last one, which is Anna. So that first one was Kita.
An angel. Your angel. An angel of death. The Denis Council knew it. They knew. If I hadn't tried to force my own ideals on your world, you would still be alive. You would still be alive. I wanted a life full of magic, full of books that bridged worlds, that lit up the darkness like stars. The possibilities were endless.
Interesting.
It's just us now. You'll never have the life you should have had. Somehow my love and compassion, it took that. I don't know how. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Again.
Ah, interesting. But I don't see how that helps me to rescue Catherine. This is just a clock or a watch. Can't do anything with it. There must be something here that can help me. The code for her prison must be here somewhere. Can't do anything with this book. And remember this, the sound is... Wait a minute. Wait a minute. That clock. Five. Five of that noise. I'm sure that noise is on one of those pull things. So we've got to find some other noises. Okay. Aha. That may be a help. This doesn't give me any help. I'm sure I could. You could do something with this though. Perhaps not. Is there anything on here? None of this does anything. Yeah, that just fires at the boiler again. And fires that up. What about this? Yeah, that doesn't really help me much. There's two of those bookcases on the wall. I would have thought there'd be something on here I could interact with apart from this book. Can't turn pages, can't do anything with this. Pull this down. What if I put this book into there? No, can't do that. And then one of the sounds is a ding. Five, 2, 3, 2, 3, 5. We did that. That's just all that does is open that up. this is quite frustrating. Trying to figure out what the code is. Oh. Got to be to do with these books on the wall, surely. What do I do here? We got marbles here, which can't do anything with. Can't close them. So there's something outside. One, two, three. That might be one of the sounds. There's a ding somewhere though. I've got to find the ding. Oh look. What's this? Oh. Oh, that's interesting. Whatever it was seems to be destroyed now. I don't know what that was. I wasn't expecting to see that. That's still opening up and I can't do anything with it, so that is nothing. He's got a picture of an effigy there. Where do I hear the ding? There's a ding, definitely a ding on one of those, on the lock. So that is something to do with that. No, it's just a light. It's in his chamber somewhere, she said. And I can't find anything in here that comes close to that third. Perhaps it's just one ding. Because it's going 5, 3, I think. The only thing I can do is go back and try it out. And then speak to her. If I can't get it to work, speak to her, see what she says. Okay, let's try this. Why have I still got the same sound effect in there as out here, as the other place? Bizarre. Okay. We'll go over to the prison island. Alright, hopefully she can give me a clue. That's what I'm looking for. So we got the... I'm sure the clock is 5 of this. Is one of the sounds, and it did it 5 times. And then I think the grill, when I turn that, it did another sound. I think that's one of the sounds. We'll soon find out. Okay. Is that the prison island there? I think it is, isn't it? No, it isn't. That's Temple Island. Remember where the prison island is? That's a Temple Island there. Where's the prison island? Must be underneath. So let's turn it over. There it is. Here we go. Let's see if Catherine can help us if we can't figure out this code. That's the clock. I didn't hear anything in his room that resembled that, and I certainly didn't hear anything that resembled that. Oh my God, was that it? No way. That was it. That's all it was. Oh my God. I spent all that time trying to find stuff, and that's all it was. I was expecting it to be a combination of them. Catherine.
We have to move quickly. Gehn's people may already know what's happening. Once we're back with the moiety, we'll have time to regroup. Can I see the book? You did it. You captured Gehn. We're all free. But there's still his followers. I'm not sure what they'll do once they realize he's gone. I have to get the villagers to safety as soon as possible. And you go back to where you first arrived and reopen the fissure. I know it's risky.
I
But
need the
it's
code.
the only way to signal Atris. I'll try to make it back there as soon as possible, but don't wait for me.
What about the code? I need the code.
Oh, and don't forget the combination in my journal. You'll need it.
The combination in her journal. What? In her journal. Okay, where's her journal? Gotta find her journal. Washing. What journal? What journal? What? There's nothing here. So don't forget the combination in my journal. Did she give it me? I wrote quickly from my prison. Along with his journal, I've instructed Neela to return the book that the mighty intercepted upon your arrival. After questioning her, I've concluded that it was written by Atris for a very specific purpose. Gehn will wish to use it, though he will undoubtedly be suspicious. Once he is out of the way, you'll still need the combination to release me. I'm told that he keeps somewhere in his outpost on 233. Then I assume we're to signal Atris. I think I know how it might be done, but I don't attempt it before I'm released. It's been 1 week since I linked to Riven, and I'm still reeling from the changes I've witnessed. Even before my eyes could adjust, the smell of my homeland embraced me. The sweet salt air was faintly familiar, but the scene that soon resolved was not. As I stood there, struggling to make sense of what I was seeing, a violent clang sounded and bars appeared before me. It was then that I must have been darted from my memory after it's clouded. A Rivenese man, shabbily dressed in militaristic attire, was shouting something at me. He seemed to be attempting to speak Denis, but his grasp of the language was so poor that I could not make out his words, and then the world went dark. Many voices passed until at last I woke to a familiar face. Etty. After all this time, she's still as warm and kind as ever, and yet the years have clearly wounded her, as they've wounded everyone, whose world became a prison where Gehn was trapped here. Everything is tinged with the pain and loss, even Etty's even Etty's bright smile, though she does her best to hide it. A desperate urgency squelched by unuttered fears seethes beneath her cordial veneer. When Atris and I left Gehn here all those years ago, I was haunted by visions of what had become of my people, and how they might have come to suffer under his rule. But the injustices I imagined were nothing compared to the atrocities that have actually come to pass. The following is a chronicle of what I have learned, a record of all that has happened. So I no longer be here to tell it. Should I no longer be here to tell it? There's a few drawings there. That's interesting. It seems that the confrontation that led Gehn's entrapment on Riven was witnessed by some of the Rivenese, but their interpretation of the event was skewed, no doubt due to Gehn's overinflated view of himself. Atris and I had a hope that stripping him of his ability to link to other worlds might lead people to conclude that his claims of godhood were false, but it appears the opposite has come to pass. If Gehn was a god and we have vanquished him, then we must be greater gods. It was thus assumed that my absence was only temporary, and that I would surely return one day to set the world right again. Thus the moiety, the name they adopted after Gehn's disparaging use of the term, were born sworn enemies of Gehn and devotees of me. I had no inkling of this misconception about myself until 2 days ago, though in hindsight it makes me perfect sense given the way I've been treated. For their part, they maturely assumed an omniscient deity might well be aware of their own divine status, so there was no need to inform me. I only finally pieced it together during a recent underground gathering where they reenacted their version of the story of my life. A riveting tale that culminated with a confrontation between Atris, myself and Gehn at the edge of the fissure. The events had been exaggerated to such grandiose proportions that I found it hard at times to suppress my laughter, and yet this myth has also given them the courage to stand against Gehn, and the hope that they might someday be delivered from the relentless inhumanities of his authoritarian rule. Even so, the fact that I am the one who has been cast as their saviour, an omnipotent being who would one day return to Riven to overthrow Gehn and lead them to new paradise, is deeply unsettling. I would do anything to free my people from this hellish existence, but I am not who they think I am. How, though, can I dissuade them from this motion without also crushing their hopes? As Gehn's power grew, so did the mighty, and in order to evade his persecution, for he would wipe them all out in an instant if he could, they had to become more and more adept at concealing themselves. They make use of a network of caves that so far he has failed to discover, but I fear it is only a matter of time before they are found out. Secret passage to the rebel linking room. That's... Oh. Yes, that isn't that where isn't that where we found the all the stone pillars for the animals? 3 bolo must be lit. Oh. Secret passage of the rebel linking room. I wonder where that is then. Interesting. That's through... This is different. Further jeopardizing their existence is the fact that the moiety absolutely refuse to sever their ties with those who have sided with Gehn. The two factions thus live together in surprising harmony, their overarching sense of cultural unity appearing to outweigh the schism, at least for now. I heard today that Father and Anant were inducted into Gehn's labour force. I so longed to see them, but a dimness shrouded at his face so abruptly when I asked of them that it left me hesitant to press the matter further. I must know the truth eventually, but I fear the news will not be good. From the moment of their inception, the mighty have sought to disrupt Gehn's plans every turn, sabotaging his constructions, stealing from his precious stockpiles, and keeping an ever-watchful eye on his every move. They shroud themselves with dark coverings and delight in the fact that their enemies are often frightened by their wraith-like appearance and their most preternatural ability to wreak havoc without detection or consequence. It's been a while since I've read cursive writing. It was in the course of one of these forays that I was fortuitously rescued when I first linked to Riven. I shuddered to think what might have become of me had that scout not been there to intervene. Gehn will certainly be hunting for me now, no doubt furious at his guard's failure to detain me. He must be even angrier, though, at the loss of the linking book he surely assumes I brought with me. That I was deceived into linking into Riven without a way back is a bitter yet fortunate fact, for it may well have meant the death of us all had a path back to Denis fallen into his destructive hands. When he finally discovers that I came here empty-handed, he'll be angrier still. That is some consolation at least. These look important. Out of 9, there's... I have glimpsed the final breath of a dying age. A tiny blade cuts the void. The white hole divided, again and again, dipped in black, The nib drips red, an art of genocide. Today I ventured above ground to see for myself what has become of the island. I hoped it wouldn't be as bad as the mighty have reported. It was worse. Having lived with it for so long, the Rivenese have become inured to the steady decay around them, but I was devastated. As we wound our way through the underbrush, I found myself once again breathing in my youth, the ocean air transporting me back in a matter of seconds. But as my eyes again took hold of the warmth, those memories vanished, and I was left with nothing but numbness. We had reached a bluff that had not been there the last time I visited my home. Riven, which was once one island, has split into 5 distinct pieces that have since drifted apart at an astounding rate. 4 of these have been claimed by Gehn as his exclusive domain. Only those who have sworn their loyalty to him are even allowed access to them. From my vantage point at the edge of the trees, I could see 3 of them. Now blighted with Gehn's maniacal constructions, these islands are closely guarded and pose great personal risk to the mighty, though that hasn't kept them from doing whatever they can to thwart Gehn's endeavours there. So these are the 4 islands. The 4th island I could not see, as it has crept away from some distance and now lies concealed by fog. The mighty said that Gehn originally governed from this small island, living and working in a protected space he built for himself atop a stump that remains where the great tree used to stand. The only surviving forest is located here, on the largest island where the village also remains. This island was ostensibly intended to be the province of the people, but it too has been irrevocably marred by Gehn's oppressive intrusions. Words fall, brittle brown leaves, masquerading as green, should never have held lives both bloomed and as yet unseeded. I feel nothing today. I am an outcast among outcasts, the diaspora of a dying world. Despite my separated protestations, the mighty continue to treat me differently, their desperate need precluding any dissuasions from the belief that I am some sort of messiah, come to save them. They misconstrue my every move as a validation of their faith, whispering of how I walked the island bold and unafraid, mistaking my outrage at the island's devastation for bravery. But I am afraid, for I know something that the mighty do not: the underlying reason for the island's accelerated decay. Gehn wrote this world, and so it will fail, as all of Gehn's ages ultimately fail. I must make the mighty understand this, but I cannot talk to Etty. There were brief moments soon after my arrival when my divine status was forgotten and I was simply Catron again, but they are almost non-existent now. There is one person, however, who seems immune to their fallacious motions. Neela. Her gaze has never faltered whenever I've dared hint at the uncomfortable truth. I feel I could trust her to bear the full blunt of it all. Oh my God, there's so much in this book. Gehn is making books. How did I not know this until now? Atreus and I knew he would likely attempt it, as he had adopted the paranoid practice of writing all of the necessary materials into his ages. He's been exploiting the natural resources and the people of Riven as fodder for his mad pursuit of further his colonialist ideas. Thankfully, it sounds as if he has not yet succeeded. As painful as it's been, the fact that I've returned to Riven at this crucial juncture is fortuitous. The age is crumbling, my people are suffering, and if Gehn succeeds in securing his freedom, other worlds will suffer the same. The mighty are looking to me. I may only be mortal, but I have to do something. This is the thing for the fisher, and this is the bit where we've got to enter the code. It's been a something long time since my last entry. There is so much to tell. It was hard to recognise, but I found the star fisher. It is located on what Gehn refers to as his Temple Island, though the Mighty prefer to use the Rivenese words Alapo, which means waterpool. They have thus taken to referring to the void itself as Alatuan, Pool of Stars. It is the very fissure that allowed Atros and me to escape this age without leaving a linking book behind us, though it has since been sealed with a skin of heavy iron. Several derelict devices from that time remain mounted to its surface, including a hatch with a window viewport, a large telescope, and a mechanical lift that was used to install it. The combination to which was acquired by the Mighty long ago. I'm going to take a picture of this because there is our combination. That's what I've been trying to get to. Okay. In the early days, the Mighty briefly considered opening the fissure. Thankfully, they decided against it. Had they attempted it back then, the results might have well have been catastrophic. Were they to do so today, it would certainly mean the end of Riven. I am told that in the days immediately following Gehn's confinement on Riven, he attempted to determine the feasibility of navigating the stars beneath the fissure, for he had seen the mist book fall from Atras's hand into that very same space. To this end, he sacrificed several poor souls, alleged transgressors of the law, by throwing them into the hatch so he could observe their fate. It is said that they did not die, but what becomes of them remains a mystery, and that original fissure is no longer alone. New ruptures have appeared in recent years at various locations around the islands. In some instances, the Mighty were able to glimpse the breaches before Gehn and his minions moved in to contain them. Their descriptions support my suspicion that the forces that are tearing Riven apart are more than merely geological. More troubling, however, is that Gehn is not simply containing these rifts. It is somehow using them to travel between the islands, and that he also reportedly devised a way to harvest the energies from the expanse for some as yet unknown purpose. How like him to wantonly exploit for his own selfish gain that which he does not understand. I'm wondering if that little floating ball of light in the fissure, where all those rotating domes are, is that person that was sent in. What if that's the soul of that person? Could be, don't know. That's a interesting concept. The star field beneath the fissure is not as it seems. It is a gentle space. It is a gentle space, as hospitable to life as a following river. That is how Atris described his brief time within the expanse before he linked out, leaving his mist book adrift within it. He was never able to conclude upon its nature, but I cannot help but feel that there must be some greater I can't read that word. Prenuma behind it, I think. Something I should have mentioned earlier, one of the colossal blades that appeared in the course of our escape from Riven, the great dagger that stands at one end of the fissure, has been adopted by the Mighty as the emblem of their struggle. They have their own explanation as to how it came to be, of course, but their choice is more apt than they know, as that dagger, along with the other blades, was a manifestation of my rage at the desecration that Gehn had already wrought upon my world. I haven't told the Mighty that I wrote it into this age, as I fear that would only fuel their overestimation of me, but I cannot deny it pleases me to have inadvertently provided them with such a fitting symbol for their cause. My limited encounters with Gehn's followers have been discouraging. Whenever I've attempted to engage them, they've fled from me. I heard an interesting tale from the Mighty last night, which may help to explain this. Soon after we trapped Gehn on Riven, he claimed that it was he who had been responsible for the Great Blades, summoning them as a preemptively punitive reminder of the obedience he expected. Obedience. I think that's obedience. In the village circles, it is told that this act marked the beginning of a period of restitution, at the end of which, provided they had proven their devotion to him, they would be delivered into a new, better existence. I will continue my attempts to intervene on their behalf. This cage has finally failed. Gehn is free. My sources have confirmed that Gehn has managed to create a functional linking book. In fact, he had done so before my arrival, but kept this accomplishment so well hidden that only his closest acolytes were aware of it. I'm keeping with his callous regard for the worlds he creates. He has simply named this age 233. It is not yet known whether he has written others. I have also just learned that years ago Mighty Scout managed to steal a book that was an early failure that Gehn had intended to destroy. It was largely complete, but it did not work. I wasn't told about it until now because they thought it was useless. Gehn struggled for decades, but he could never get a conventional linking book to work. Then one day he began construction on a cumbersome mechanical solution, a complex array of devices designed to harness the energies of the starry expanse and use them to suppress his book's inherent flaws. The design phase was chaotic and often dangerous. The mighty tale of tremendous explosions as Gehn sought to contain and will forces that he knew little or nothing about. But he is nothing if not determined, and eventually he was able to use this enormous crutch to link to another age. I can't deny his brilliance, but it is an abominable solution, brutish and overwrought, and all but entirely unnecessary. I have studied the potentially burned book that the mighty took from him. Although he sought retribution for the affront, he appears to have been otherwise untroubled by the theft. No doubt assuming the book would be useless in the mighty's hands, but I can see what they could not. The book may yet be salvageable. The age the book describes is wholly unsuitable as a home for the mighty, but I think it can be modified. I will dream. So that's where we went to in that big kind of tree thing, where we was in prison for a short while. I've nearly finished writing the mighty's age. The world, as described, is harsher than more desolate than they are used to, but they should be able to sustain themselves there. But we'll need a second book. Gehn has been spending most of his time on 233 lately, so the danger is less, but getting into his lab will still be difficult. The coming collapse waits in the air, blurring my vision both day and night. We must act soon. So that's great. He's creating a fissure. Success, we have secured a second book, though I worry that Gehn will miss it and deduce our plans before we're ready. The descriptive book I've prepared is a refuge for the rebels, is useless unless I can find a way to correct its inherent flaws. Gehn's massive machine mainly functions to manipulate the energies within the expanse. It serves the purpose, but its excess seems unwarranted. The Rivenese have long used crystalline substances as an elegant means to manipulate light. If I could just find the right material. Last night's dreams have delivered me a perilous plan. I will write this substance into the new mighty age. What is this? Is this that thing she put over the top of it? If we could temporarily access Gehn's apparatus, we could use our book to link to this new age and search for the crystal. Somehow, someone would then have to carry the book back to safety once the link was made, and if it fell into Gehn's hands, all would be lost. When Gehn links to 233, one of his acolytes always remains to shut down the device. We'll have to get to him before he can do so, which means we'll only have one chance before they're alerted to our presence. Everything is ready. I have written the material into the new age, and I have prepared the second linking book as a return path to Riven. Of course, it too suffers the same deficiencies as all of Gehn's books, so it won't work unless it's augmented. Once I'm in the new age, I'll have to locate the crystal and adapt it to heal the gateway image, which should render the book functional. I can then use the second linking book to return to Riven with more of this material. It's risky, but if it all goes well, the Mighty and any others we can convince to join them will finally have an escape. I can't help but laugh at the absurdity of these plans. I sound like Atreus. Should I fail to return, it will likely mean the end of my life, but my only fear Real fear is for my people. Everyone assures me they have complete faith and I will accomplish my task and lead them to a better world. That's the fulfillment of the prophecy after all. But underneath they are just as tense and fearful as I am. What will become of them I do not know. What will become of them if I do not return? They will perish here on Riven, or attempt to follow me through this new book to an unknown fate. I don't know what to tell them. Against all odds it's done. We have already evacuated most of our members to this new age, which the mighty have named Tay. Okay, that's the name of the place, Tay. The world is more beautiful than I'd anticipated, so I am pleased. The Rivenese have been liberated at last. They stand beneath the open sky and afraid, dazzled by their freedom. They are happy. But there's still much to be done. The age is still vulnerable. The only way to completely protect it from Gehn is to destroy the book once everyone is safely in Tay. I'm hesitant to bring this up with the mighty until they've had a chance to acclimate themselves. Acclimate. Acclimate, isn't it? Themselves to the new world, as it would mean they would be forever exiled from the only home they've ever known. Nor am I eager to sever my own connection and my only path back to life, my life and family are missed. But for the greater good, it must be done. For the moment we're safe, but our activities could arouse Gehn's suspicions of any movement. We cannot delay. I will return to Riven tomorrow to resume my attempts to persuade the remaining holdouts to join the others in Tay. For now, though, I must rest. That's the end of the book. Oh my god, that was a long book. We have our code. We have our code. So, we can head back. Do I have to do this? How do we get back out? Oh, here it comes. I was a bit concerned there. Right, okay. We are close. I think this is going to be quite a long episode, this, isn't it? I'm not sure how many hours I've been on this, but it's been a while. I think it's been about 4 hours? 3 hours, perhaps. Right, okay. We need to head back to the Temple Island. So, this is not that one. There it is. So we need to head to the fissure, and we need to work out what the numbers are. Okay, I think we're close to the end of the game. It's a shame this is the only way to get back to the other islands from this island. But it is what it is. Where is it? There it is, over there. So okay, here we go. Have I got the right one? Yeah, that's the right one. Here we go. It's going to take me a while to get to the fissure because I haven't got that rotating room to navigate yet. And it's the only way, but the only way through. Okay. So this is not going to give me the way through I want yet. No, I can't get through that way. Here's 2 more. Okay. Here we go. Right. Now we need to decipher the numbers. Oh, this could be fun. Let's pull up the notebook. And it's this page. Now look, we've got here different numbers. So we know this is 1, 2. That's a 3. That's 2. There's 2 2s. There's another 3. These, I think. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think that's 7, 8, 9. So that's 8. That's a 10. That is 10. Right, so I'm thinking that's 10, 8, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's an 8. 10, 8, 8, 3, 2, 9, 2, 2, 3, 7. Can I write that down? Is my pen still working? Yes. Okay. So I said 10, 10, 8, 8, 3, 2, 9, 2, 2, 3, 7. Oh, this is going to be interesting. Have I got it right? That's a bloody guess on those double ones, so I'm not so sure. So this is going to be a 10, so we want to go 10. Okay. 8. 2 8s. That one. 2 8s. A 3. A 2. A 9. 2 2s. Two 2s. 3. And a 7. Oh, I did it. Oh my god. I was right. How do I do this? Okay, I've got to... That's how it works. Pull that back a bit. No, off we go. Pull that down to about there. That's too much. That looks about right. What's stopping it? That's as far as it goes. That doesn't seem right somehow. I can't get it to go further along. Oh, I can. Whoa. Whoa. What have I done? Oh no. What have I done? Whoa. The whole age has been sucked in. Whoa. What's going on? Whoa, there goes the big sword. Come on, Atris, where are you? Here he is. I knew he was coming. I knew he was going to be here in a minute.
There isn't much time. Where's Catherine? Where's the book? I don't understand.
Atris!
The villagers are safely in the rebel age.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Cool.
As do I. You've accomplished more than I could have hoped for. You've given me back my life. The path home is now clear for all of us.
Where do I go?
This is where our paths must part. Perhaps we'll meet again someday. You know where to find me.
Where do I go? Oh, I've got to jump in the fissure. Whoa. Whoa. Oh my God. That's it, isn't it?
Now I understand. Endings and beginnings are within the fissure. That riven cleft of stars that acts as both a wall and a bridge. And though I'm unable to understand how, the very flow of stars that brought my mist book into worthy hands, I am sure served as a safe passage home for my friend. The age of Riven has come to a close, but the people of Riven are free. And now I am at rest, understanding that in books and ages and life, the ending can never truly be written.
That's it, I think. That was a fabulous game, I've got to say. Very, very challenging puzzles, and easily missed. Yes, I've enjoyed that. I certainly did. That's for certain. From the gameplay that you're seeing on the screen, I played a lot longer than what the video is at. I mean, I think at this one's 3 hours. I put probably more like 5 in trying to find these bloody clues. I was determined not to bloody look up it on the internet. So yeah, and eventually I managed to get them all. thank you very much for watching. Do hit the like button and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. And I will look forward to seeing you all again on my next video. I don't know what it's going to be yet, but we'll see. Quite a blast for the past for me, this one. Right nostalgic. Thank you very much. Goodbye for now.